Meanwhile, the Greece boat tragedy still remains one of the most horrific migrant disasters. Around 750 people were on board when the ship sank off Greece, out of which 350 were Pakistanis, and only 12 of them survived the tragedy. Now, a survivor has come up with a shocking information. As he says, around 20,000 Pakistanis are still in the safe houses of human traffickers in Libya. Usman Siddiqui, a constable in the Pakistani police force, returned back to his hometown in Pakistan's Gujarat region. Siddiqui added that 3 of his friends are still in the safe houses of the traffickers, while adding that the traffickers vowed to take them to their destination within 10 days of leaving Pakistan. The Pakistani media outlet Dawn quoted one of his family members where they claimed that despite paying around $100 to the crew, hundreds of migrants on board were not given life jackets and food. UK's The Guardian said that the Pakistani migrants were forced to remain in the lower deck, and this made it more difficult for them to survive the tragedy. The report also adds that the Pakistanis were ill-treated by the crew. Whenever they asked for fresh water or wished to leave the lower deck, most of these Pakistani nationals belonged from the regions of Gujarat, Mandi, Bahauddin and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Now, after the incident, WION visited a village in POK called Barnley Village, Kotli district, where around 28 of its residents were on board this ill-fated trawler that sank in Greek waters, and majority of them were youngsters. WION spoke to almost a dozen of the families whose sons and nephews were on the boat. All said that the relatives had paid almost $9,500 per person to an agent who promised to take them to Italy. Some of the families took out hefty loans to cover the costs. According to the locals, about 100 people from the area are still in Libya, but the family members are not able to contact them, as they believe that the smugglers switched off their phones. But why people from these regions are opting for such dangerous journeys? The reason lies with poverty and a dream to have a normal life away from the financial and mental struggle. Now, when WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik spoke to a father of one of the passengers, he said there is an agent in the area who took a lot of boys to such journeys. And in one of these journeys, his eldest son also lost his life. Take a listen.
We have an agent in this market who took a lot of boys. My eldest son died earlier. After that, I could not get out of bed. There has been no communication from the Greek government. The survivors were sitting in the front and back with our child.
Another family member of a victim explained that the conditions in which these youngsters are living and why do they choose such treacherous journeys.
Inflation has hit our area. Our area is backward. There is no source of livelihood. Even if it rains, a household produces 4 kilos of corn. If it doesn't rain, nothing is produced. Inflation level is such that even at 150 rupees, we cannot buy flour. Inflation has killed us. What should our children do? They don't get any labor. If they get 1,000 rupees of labor, what does 1,000 rupees get for the people? It's not even sufficient to buy flour. What should the people with children do? We don't get any subsidies. We don't have any government stores here. We only do labor.
Where I stand is the Bandi village on the Pakistani side of Kashmir's Kotli. The 2 shops behind me are of 2 friends, Abdul Salam and Imran, both of whom have quite of a story of deepened friendship, and both of whom were on board the ill-fated boat that sank in the waters of Greece. The families now await their bodies, hoping that they would be able to bury back their loved ones in the land of their own. Anas Malik at the Pakistani side of Kashmir in Bandli village for WION. World is One.
Such incidents raise questions that every authority connected to this tragedy, from the negligence of the Greek authorities to the inability of the Pakistani government to tackle the ongoing cost of living crisis and such cases of illegal trafficking in the country. And the most important question is how the world leaders are going to tackle the problem of poverty and food inflation in times to come.